I'm leaving my marriage. I didn't come to this decision quickly, easily. I took much time, a lot of experience, a lot of difficult lessons, a lot of pain and heartbreak to finally come to the decision that leaving my marriage is better than staying for the sake and abandonment of myself. When I got married, I was in my 20s. I was young, naive, afraid. I had twins that were almost 3 years old when I first met my now husband, and didn't really know who I was. And during my 14 years of marriage, I discovered a part of me that was always meant to be discovered. The nature of me that loved all things intuition, all things angels, the spiritual realms, philosophy, theology, understanding the whys in which we're here, for what purposes, conspiracy theories, health, wellness, psychology, understanding just the whys of what's going on here, why we exist, and the importance of making it better. I have been a years long advocate of self-development, of self-reflection, the utter importance of us having self-awareness really being the only key to growth, and how important that is. And so coming into all of this, during my years as a wife and a mother, I changed greatly. I found those parts of myself that loved healing, loved truth, loved to love, but to understand it in a way that's healthy. To deprogram myself from my generational wounds and beliefs and programs. To actually ask myself, what matters to me and what makes me light up? And those things that I started doing and exploring began to trigger my partner. When I became more full, I noticed a trend of my partner trying to keep me small, of being triggered by my expansiveness, by my fullness. Because when he met me, I was a shell of a person. And some people we come into have wounds of saving others in order to feel needed and therefore valuable. And I would say my wound at that time was actually needing help. Lost myself, didn't know what to do, was young with girls in a tough position at the time. Loved overgiving, loved being available. Thought what I needed to do was more important than what was happening right here and right in my solar plexus, in the seat of my power. And so I pushed those wiggling feelings aside. And I went forward into a relationship and tried hard. All the while trying hard, feeling uncomfortable in the situation and in my partnership, feeling uncomfortable in my own skin, because my soul knew the truth of what was happening and what would be coming. That the depth of who I really was, the core of who I was, would be too much for the partner I had. And this has played out many times throughout my life. That others would be triggered by me, whether growing up in school, girl friendships, and male partners. And if and when I was a healthy version of myself, I would know that if I came into contact in any partnership relationship that didn't love and value the parts of me that are full, that I would lovingly walk away. Wouldn't enter into relationships or contracts that didn't love those parts of me. But sometimes our stories aren't so cut and dry, and we're here for certain healing and experiences, because through that depth of pain of triggering those around me, I had to find myself. I had to question everything I knew about reality. And I really have come back into and am becoming me again. And it's taken no longer giving away my power, no longer staying small, no longer people pleasing, no longer saying or not saying something in order to keep the peace. Because doing all of those things hurts me. And you know what? It hurts them too. Because unless you are authentically you, you can never fully be satisfied and in love. Number one, with yourself. And number two, ever having someone mirror back to you who you are, because that inauthentic version of you is what is attracting that person in the first place. So inauthenticity will attract inauthenticity. Shallowness attracts shallowness. And sometimes when we grow, it means leaving people behind. Not because you want to, but because they're not ready. And maybe, just maybe, the soul contract was to be exactly this. For me to find my power again. I'm 42. I'm leaving my marriage. I'm moving across country. And some people would say that's starting over. And I'm saying I'm just beginning.